Hello people, welcome to the channel. This weekend coming up, UFC 298, main evented by Alexander the Great Volkanovski versus Ilia Topuria. In this video, we're going to break it down, talk predictions, and just see, is this going to be another example of generational domination or another case of passing of the guard? Now, first thing we're going to do is talk about each fighter individually. First up, the challenger, Ilia Topuria, 14-0, 6-0 in the UFC, 4 finishes, one of his decisions, a 5-round beatdown of Josh Emmett. So he gets his title shot off of I think some of the scorecards were fucking like 50-42 or something. Like, I don't even remember. It was stupid. Beat the dog shit out of Josh Emmett in his last fight to get his title shot. Submitted Bryce Mitchell after beating the shit out of him too. The biggest piece of adversity we've seen Ilia hit with is certainly that vicious knockdown during the Jai Herbert fight. He took a flush head kick right to the face, survived, dove in on a takedown, and then ended up absolutely flatlining Jai Herbert later that fight. Ilia Topuria, he is a savage. He is definitely going to be a tough fight for Alexander Volkanovski. Moving on to Alexander the Great Volkanovski, 26-3. Real quick, we'll get we'll address the elephant in the room. He's 1-2 in his last 3 fights, but both of the losses were up at lightweight against Islam Makhachev. He got knocked out by a head kick in October by Islam. But other than that, this man is flawless. I mean, beat the shit out of Yair Rodriguez back International Fight Week. Beat Max Holloway 3 times, but twice in his last 5. Beat the crap out of the Korean Zombie. Absolutely showed levels to Brian Ortega. But it's Volk, man. He's getting old. He's 35 years old in the featherweight division. We've all seen that stat. I don't remember the number, but it's like fucking 2-30 in championship fights under 170 for people over the age of 35, and those 2 are Tyron Woodley. Like, everyone knows that stat. I don't know if I'm going to buy into it for this one. Who knows? I think Volk obviously has a huge chance here, as well as Ilia Topuria. So it's like in this situation, I could see Volk's age kind of being a blessing and a curse for him, because he is 35. He's definitely past his prime. But also he has way more experience. I mean, it's 26-3 to 14-0. He has like double the experience of Ilia Topuria. So let's move on to where I think each guy has an advantage or could succeed in the fight against the other man. Now, we all know for Volk's height and his size, he is really long, has really long arms. So he's definitely going to have the advantage in the kickboxing range. He's heavy with leg kicks, lots of feints. He loves that, like the jab uppercut feint. Lots of jabs, just using his reach to try to keep Ilia out of the pocket, because I think Ilia will be faster and more powerful, probably even slightly more accurate in the pocket, but we also cannot count out Volkanovski in the pocket. I mean, he is fantastic there, but that's just where Ilia Topuria does a lot of his work, and he is the younger, fresher guy with, I think, again, the more crisp boxing. I think Volk is going to be the stronger, like more physically strong man. He's going to be stronger in the wrestling. I do think he has a slight disadvantage in the submission game, but I also don't see it playing that big of a role, because I don't think the gap is big enough for Topuria to submit Volkanovski. But I do think Topuria has a slightly better Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu game. Now, both fighters have good cardio. We've seen that for Ilia Topuria in the Josh Emmett fight. He went 5 hard rounds. He did look a little bit slow in the 3rd and 4th, but he still went all 5 rounds, won all 5 rounds. Certainly has the cardio to go this entire 5-round fight. Alexander Volkanovski, what do I have to say? All those title defenses, all those decisions against Max Holloway. The man has 5-round cardio for days. He could go 15. We do not have to worry about Alexander Volkanovski's cardio. I think Ilia Topuria, being the younger guy, the man who's taken less damage, I think he will have the better chin. I think he'll be able to take a shot better. But I really think the low kicks will be really helpful for Alexander Volkanovski in making his movement worse. But what I could see happening for each fighter in the fight, I could see Volk holding Ilia at bay with the length of the kicks. He could try to mix in the wrestling like he did against Yair, even though Yair is a much worse wrestler than Ilia. And I could see him putting in the work, ground and pound, and just outwork Ilia to a decision. I could see Volk catching Ilia, maybe with a head kick, and swarming him for a finish, again, with ground and pound, or maybe just 1 or 2 follow-up shots. I think Ilia could get in the pocket, hitting Volk with the really fast, powerful 3, 4, 5-piece combinations, catching him flush and maybe flat KOing him. But I could also see Ilia frustrating Volk with his in and out movement, his good footwork, with a mixed attack to the legs, body, and head, and just winning a close decision himself. But that one is definitely less likely. Now, what I actually predict, what I think is going to go down in the fight, I see Volk coming out very cautious, kicking the legs, jabbing at range, lots of feints, lateral work, just trying to keep Ilia at range and just stay off the power, stay away from the power of Ilia. I see him opening up come the second and third round, and Ilia entering the pocket and connecting with some of those heavier combinations, where you'll see Alexander Volkanovski sort of blitz in with the jab, overhand right, and you'll see, Ilia kind of stay sound with a high guard and keep his composure, and then just absolutely explode out of the pocket, catching Alexander Volkanovski hard. So I see Volk kind of pitter-patter, just kind of keeping it at range, winning the first round. In the beginning of the second round, we'll see Ilia Topuria sort of get his timing down for how Alexander Volkanovski likes to enter and likes to throw his attacks. And I think we'll see Ilia Topuria throw, a nice cross followed by that lead hook right on the chin to Alexander Volkanovski, sending him to the mat, knocking him out. I'm going to say cold, but possibly following up with some ground and pound. Let me know what you guys think of this fight. Do you think it's going to be the beginning of the Ilia Topuria era, his reign as the featherweight king, or do you think Alexander the Great Volkanovski will prove that he is undoubtedly the greatest featherweight to ever live? Let me know in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you love all things MMA. Now, go sleep.